Hello, everybody. I've been so excited for this game for like so long. You have no idea. Um, but I'm going to quit talking. Where I'm just going to go in around the table here. We're going to introduce everybody, and then we're going to get started. I guess since I'm already talking, I guess I'll go ahead and say who I am first. I'm Saevrick. You can call me Josh. Tonight I'm going to be playing Elias Darman, aka Preacher. Um, Very fine gentleman of the world, and you'll find out the rest of my backstory as we go along. And I'm going to hand it off to the lovely, lovely person to my left on the screen here, Mr. Jacob.
Oh, sure. Hi, everybody. So hello, I'm Jacob Duval King Jacob on the internet. Could not be more excited to be here. I will be playing Jason Detumenu, aka The Eyes. Yeah, just ready to rock, man. Let's go. You
I
want me
am
to
the.
choose or do
You,
you?
you might as well, because we had stage fright for a second here.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, then I'll go above me to Hannah.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Hannah. Um, I'm playing a lunch. Wait.
Oh, did you
Um,
did you mute there?
Holy crap. I just got like a weird feedback loop. Anyway, I'm Hannah. I'm playing Miss Fritter, a former lunch lady, and that's all we are really at right now. She's a cutter, but that's on the format, so you see that. Awesome. Great. And
Sean?
I will go to next. Over one.
Hey everyone, Shauna, and I am playing Edie Corbin, aka Edie Lark, aka Miss Corbin. She is the team's spider.
All right, and that's going to be our crew. Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan, and I am your GM for this lovely little adventure of Scoundrels. We are live with Blades in the Dark, and excited to be here. We're going to a couple of things first. Is we had a session before, a session 0. We made characters. We did our safety things, as I suggest you always do, is play with the safety tools that are around you. If not, reach out. There are plenty of people that have them. So we definitely have our safety tools in place, and then we'll be setting up these games where we'll do a score one session and then do downtime and free time where we talk about the score kind of in the next. So you'll see a little bit of the backside of mechanics, how Blades in the Dark works as well. While none of us are experts at Blades in the Dark by any means, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna try and look up things and maybe get some things wrong, but we're gonna have fun, and really that's in the end all that matters. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna tell a good story. So tonight we're going to start within the score itself. Our crew of scoundrels finds themselves in the midnight dark city of Duskfall, the always dark as the sun was blighted 1,000 years ago, when the gates of the underworld were cast aside and locked down, so that now spirits as people as they die do not get to go to an afterlife. They are instead released into the world to do mayhem and violence or vengeance upon whoever they feel like, and sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes that's a bad thing. So we'll definitely see how that plays into our scoundrel lifestyle. For the most part, Dustfall is a city of industry, a city on the coast, always dark, always rainy, always cold. It is a city where leviathans, the great leviathan demons, are harvested. Their parts are harvested for the electroplasm that lights the city's electric lights. Picture late 1800s, early 1900s modern type cities, and you'll kind of feel this. This is also Dustfall, where it's the canals of the icky black ink looking water that's been polluted for so long are always present, and so people can take canals or to get where they're going to, or carriages or whatever means of transportation they need to. Tonight we find our crew, the Ash Syndicate. We find them a um, in the back of a carriage. This carriage is large enough to fit probably 6 people. It's like, kind of think of it like as a taxi in some ways. The clip clopping of the large Acarosian goats who pull the wagon. You can hear their feet as they're tromping along the cobblestone streets. The driver, is busy with the directions that have been given earlier, and the camera pans to one of our characters. Who does it pan to first? Why don't we go in reverse order of who did the introductions? Miss Corbin, I believe that's you.
There we go.
Yep.
Miss Corbin just sitting in the carriage, put together as she usually looks. She is small, dark hair, delicate features, professional look about her. Well, this should be interesting. The Wraiths sure did pick quite the target. It's foolish of them. You don't mess with Leviathan hunters.
Looking around, who does the camera pan to next?
Oh, I'll pick it up from there. I suppose the camera pans to this fairly tall. I imagine he's quite uncomfortable because he is super tall in this itty bitty ass carriage. So Jason's a tall, fairly dark, handsome glass of water, fairly lanky. He's wearing this long purple trench coat, trench coat, hiding a suit of strangely yellow and green. His eyes kind of dart over. Why, perhaps, would you say that Leviathan is, or these hunters are they particularly dangerous? I've not had the pleasure of running into them.
Oh, they're dreadfully well connected. City doesn't run without them. Everything runs on the oil that they bring in from those monsters.
So if we do run into them, we should shall we say, exit stage left?
Oh, the hunters? No, we're doing them a good favor by bringing the book back.
Oh, well.
And in the way, maybe we can have the Wraiths publicly implicated.
Get a little bit of favor, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of glory. I'm in favor of that.
Okay. Who next is in the carriage, and what are you doing?
I'll go. So, Elias, who goes by his name Preacher, he's about 6 foot tall. He's a medium build, much dressed like myself. Pretty well kept, except for like this scraggly beard. It's just salt and peppered. Also his hair, which has well more than I do personally, but it's long and stringy. It doesn't look like it's washed regularly, but he still has an air about him, maybe not fitting in quite as well with most people. And right now he's just sort of twirling a cigar in his hand. I'm all for helping the hunters, especially if it lines our pockets a little bit more. Just not real fanciful getting on the bad side of the Wraiths so early.
No, well, yes. We do have a similar turf. And surely with the trouble that they've gone into, we would be more than capable of holding our own. Made terrible amount of enemies with this.
Well, it's good we always have the muscle with us. Sort of grin over at Miss Fritter.
At that, the camera pans over to the last member of our party. And who do we see?
So Pie Fritter, whom you may not call Pie, but you may call Miss Fritter, is older, probably in her 50s at least. She has the air of her. She used to be she had used to be a lunch lady in the local school system, and she kind of used that opportunity to explore other avenues of income, but she retained her outfit. It allowed her to quickly navigate the world. And as she's listening to this, she considers all options. But to be honest, she just really cares about hitting things. So I don't care if we make new enemies. Enemies are fun. Uh, I defer to what you think we should do. If your strategy is your own and has not led us astray at this point.
You
Small
are
point of
a
order.
lethal woman.
Everyone is lethal for a price.
True, but I know. See, my outfit is loud for ironic reasons. Yours just is just loud. I respect that.
I have had the opportunity to encounter so many of our youth in my lifetime, and those children have aged in a system that has not been kind to them. I was always kind to them. So as I see them, I greet them and they remember me, and that has proven to be quite useful. So yes, I'm loud, but I'm Miss Fritter, your old lunch lady, and who doesn't remember fondly their old lunch lady?
She used to sneak me candy back in the day. So
I think the carriage continues to pass. It passes over a couple of bridges down in Coal Ridge as you make the long trek around to Night Market. You caught this in one of the other wards and are coming down to Night Market. And I think the camera pans back to about a week ago when a sharp dressed young woman named Kess Finn showed up with a note to each one of you. You're a new crew, and so you don't have a full time live in lair yet. You have a place where you meet, and we'll talk about that next time. But for now, Kess showed up with a job. She works for the Hive, a big time money syndicate type operation used to smuggling and racketeering, protections, that kind of thing. They had gotten you all together on several other occasions to some good and some bad benefits and outcomes, and wanted to kind of set you on your way into the crew. They have had a problem with the Wraiths for a long time. The Wraiths have pillaged and profited off the Hive, off their operations. They both work in Night Market, and we'll talk about that in a second. And the Hive decided to set up a foil for the Wraiths, and that is you all. So Kess Finn showed up, met with you, and discussed what she had for a job for you this time. And this would be your first official job. The others kind of off the books, but now this is where you make your name known. That job is simple. At a local pleasure house brothel in Night Market that the Hive run, the Wraiths broke in and pillaged a bunch of items. One of those items was the book of the Leviathan Hunters of one of the noble families and one of the Leviathan ships. That book is this family's life. It's how they make money. It's how they've always made money. The Hive wants the book back, yes, because it can sell the book, but it makes the Hive look bad that in their pleasure house, at their establishment, this happened. That they absolutely cannot stand. So the Hive pulled some strings and found out where this book was going to be auctioned off. And now Kess has asked you to go and retrieve the book by whatever means you feel is necessary, and to bring it back to them. Anything else you find and collect is yours. But this book above all others, is where you need to find. And so this is where in a free playtime we would have some time for you to gather information. In this, we won't do the roles. I'll just simply say, where would Preacher find information? How would Preacher go about finding information?
Oh Lord. So we have. Let me sure I understand this correctly. We have a ledger or a book that's been stolen from a brothel.
Correct?
It is now in the possession of the Wraiths,
Correct.
who are therefore throwing some sort of party or silent auction.
It is, yes, it seems to be that this is a kind of a pop-up art show, silent auction, all very hush-hush. Ultra wealthy within the scope of night market are invited, and it's some kind of party of some kind. So it's going to be a cover of some kind for the actual silent auction as it happens.
Interesting. I don't have a whole lot of contacts with this sort of people.
Does anyone else? Anyone else have a contact we can get started with?
I might have some money. I get in contact with my good buddy Clara.
Okay.
She's a tavern owner, but just so happens to be a little loose-lipped, just an information merchant for the right price.
Absolutely. And so you play Clara Visit, and we won't worry about rolls this time because we're just going to kind of give you the information. But Clara, after some greasing of some palms, Clara says, "Oh yes, yes, yes. I had some alcohol ordered. A woman named Tessin. She's a party thrower. She throws these extravagant shindigs. I guess that's what the people are calling them. These parties for the wealthy within night market that are all the rage. They find an area and then they kind of cordon it off and they throw a big party and a big gathering there. I have actually sending some alcohol over there. I can certainly give you the address."
Oh, that would be most wonderful. It's always really interesting how a little bit of coin flashing always jogs the old memory.
Absolutely. She says, "Now I don't know the address of the party. What they're actually doing is they're sending everyone to the docks and then carrying them over to some top secret location. But I have that, and I will definitely provide that to you. So you can if you go there, that's where you pick up the cab, and therein lies where we've gotten started with the cab. Who else?"
Well, Miss Fritter, being that she has done extensive meal prepping, most likely knows the catering company that is going to be serving the hors d'oeuvres at this event. And, they're always looking for people to pass around trays.
Absolutely.
So it is very possible that Miss Fritter could be a waiter at this event.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You have a contact and somebody. They're doing your contact talks about how they can't believe that they're asking for some very weird things. It's even for Duskfall. Duskfall mainly runs on mushrooms and things that don't need sunlight. There's some fruits and vegetables that they're grown out in the electroplasmic gardens, but they're asking for weird things. It's something about forgotten gods. It's some kind of party about forgotten gods. It doesn't really make any sense. So they tell you that this masquerade ball is actually is everyone is going to be showing up in masks of forgotten gods. And you can take that to be however you will. But yes, she definitely says if you would like, she could definitely use the help and would love to have you.
Miss Fritter is amenable to these conditions.
Okay. Miss Corbin and Preacher, anything?
Yes. I think I would like to visit my good friend, the information broker, Salia.
Yes, Salia. Salia greets you warmly, probably has you come in and sit down, maybe have a cup of coffee or cup of tea or something like that. And there's probably some pleasantries exchanged. Are these actual pleasantries or are these kind of barbed?
Oh no, these are real pleasantries.
Good.
It's good to have a good relationship with people that know information. Keep that pleasant.
And Salia tells you that, confirms that the book will be at this party, that it's going to be a silent auction held in lockstep. One of the Wraiths will actually be there and will be the person taking the bids. Basically, proof of funds will need to be shown, and then after the party is over, that's when they'll exchange. There's supposedly other items of interest there as well, all based around the spirit realm and the spirit world, things like that.
Excellent. Just a little bit of coin to get through the door, and then it's like any other bidder.
Absolutely. preacher.
All this talk of spirits and forgotten gods. Maybe I go talk to Flint. He's a spirit trafficker. Maybe he's got a little bit more information about what we're dealing with here. Maybe where some of these items might have come from.
Okay. Flint probably tells you, yeah, the word on the street is some of these items had been stolen or acquired, we'll say acquired, by nefarious means throughout the time, and the Wraiths finally got enough of them up to throw one of these parties, make it look legit, and yet make some coin off of it. So they're advertising some of these things that they have. Some of them may be for sale, some of them may not be. They're almost showing off what they've gotten in some cases. The book will definitely be there, but there are supposed to be other items of power, supposedly, all related to the spirit realm. So he tells you to be very careful, but definitely this is there will be some powerful items there.
Sort of spirits or demons these things could attract here.
He says, yeah, if they haven't done their due diligence and put spirit wards out, spirit bane charms and things like that, it will definitely draw spirits from around them to them.
I'm not sure how careful these wraiths are. They seem to be not much more than petty thieves.
I think at that sign, Flint kind of takes back and says, the wraiths are more than petty thieves, but I'm not sure that they have this amount of knowledge about the spirit realm. I would be careful.
Well, I guess going back to our group total. So we go in, but we don't have the coin to be purchasing a bunch of things, obviously. I don't know how on the books you all want to do this exactly, if you want to take off with stuff, but there's going to be some potential problems that might arise depending on how safeguarded these thieves have come with the items that they've procured.
What kind of problems are we talking about?
We're talking artifacts bound to the spirit world, perhaps something even worse. I don't know what sort of safeguards or wards or what sort of spirits might be lingering around, maybe wanting to repossess these items of their past, might link them to this world. Might be the only link that's tying them here. Be very careful about what we do, and what we look at, and what we say.
But if they're all in one spot, then we perhaps help with, I don't know, a bit of wealth redistribution. I don't see any particular problem with that myself.
As long as the job is done, yes. A little bit extra. Good thinking.
Personally, I don't think we have a problem until we have a problem. So why don't we wait and see?
Creature, you're an expert in those things, otherworldly things. How hard would it to be to make a problem?
It just depends on how eventual the spirit is that's attached to them. I won't really know until I'm nearer to them, can speak with them, commune with them. Otherwise, I can make a little hassle myself. But I fear about all of us going in as purchasers, about being all around them at one time. I know that Miss Fritter had said she'd like to go in, perhaps sort of a catering crew. Perhaps I could be some sort of appraiser, at best, for these more exotic items.
I could certainly use my solicitor's license to come as a rep of some sort, representing someone that doesn't want to come in person but still wants their interests taken care of.
And Eyes, what is your plan?
I'm kind of grinning and my eyes are kind of racing a little bit all over because I'm just thinking and thinking and thinking. So how forgotten are these gods? Because my immediate thought is, what if I just pretend to be one?
Oh.
I mean, to be fair, what are they going to say? Oh, no, you're not one of those. You don't know, but I do because I am one. We can dress it up a little bit. I don't know. But it sounds like a good time. And, perhaps a little bit of it serves as a little bit of a distraction. And then we'll... Oh, did I have you and then I lost you? Or do I?
Certainly. I know you can pull it off, so...
I'm so sure we could
all eyes on you, I suppose.
Summon up a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning in your presence.
I kind of tip these green tinted glasses kind of on my nose and give Miss Corbin a bit of a wink as my yellowish red eyes glow behind them.
I think with that, the carriage pulls to a stop. Night Market is a hustle and bustle ward. It is on the southeast end of the city of Duskfall, and where Gaddock Station is, the large train station that runs on electroplasm. So goods and people are ferried to and from there all the time. This is an area where the new nobility, those with new money, making money other places, bringing in here, or just basically not running Leviathan, old Leviathan ships or having old money, have started their wealth. And so you have the main layer, which is shops and things like that. You have basically the city of Dustfall is built upon itself. So you have 3 different layers here in Night Market. The main layer where the day shops are, the night layer that has scaffolding up above your heads running all different angles, almost like a whole other world of lights and bazaars and cloth curtained bazaar shops type deal. Yeah. See, there's words in there, but they're just not coming out right now. So basically temporary shops that pop up and leave. They're here for a few days and then they're off to another part of the city. So you just never know in Night Market. Night Market was also built on an old part of town, and that is where your carriage pulls up to. You actually pull down into one of the canals, into a bottom part of the canal, and you see lights running along the stone wall, and lights form an entrance into this alcove where it looks like the cabbie will be dropping you off. Anybody want to do anything before we get there?
A question for the GM.
Absolutely.
We talked a little bit about load. Would there be an opportune time to discuss that?
This is absolutely where we're going to pick the load, and I'm going to do the engagement roll. So on your sheets, if you'll go to character mode, loads across the top, you can choose light, normal, or heavy, and it has a number beside it. These, what you choose now, if you choose light, you look like a person on the street, maybe walking to work or going to grab something to eat. No big deal. If you choose normal, you probably have a satchel of some kind, a bag. Maybe you look like you're going to do something, but nothing sticks out. It's something that you could get away with. If you choose heavy, it means you're basically almost like you're dressed for war. You have whatever these items that you would carry around, probably sticking out of the bag on the satchel. You're pretty encumbered at that time. Doesn't mean that you can't take stuff back, but it's going to look a little bit clumsy as you're walking around. So what I need each one of you to do, now we're basically starting our session. I need each one of you to choose the load. And again, what those numbers represent is down the middle, there are boxes by each of the things of equipment. If it is italicized, you don't actually have to spend one of your boxes from the load on it, but the rest you do. So if in the case you don't have to choose them now, you choose them as you need them. So as something comes up, you'll say, okay, now I need a blade or two, I need a pistol, I need climbing gear. As long as you have the load available, you choose the box, mark it out, you have it. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So go ahead and pick the load, whether it's light, normal, or heavy, and that's all you have to pick for now. And then we'll start the engagement roll. The engagement roll is one of the only things I actually roll as your GM, which I don't find fair, but hey, your rolls will do enough harm to you. I don't have to worry about that.
Yay!
All right. Sorry, I thought I had it.
Take your time. While you're doing that, thanks everybody for joining us.
Yes, absolutely.
There it is.
Sorry. I swear I have it. Okay. It's never, the thing that you need is never where you want it to be.
Absolutely.
But now it's all over the ground. All right, so the engagement roll. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start and I'm going to roll one die just for sheer luck of what happens. And this is basically when you step foot onto the score, what position you're in. Are you in a control position that you're okay? Are you in a risky position that maybe someone's watching you don't know what's going on? Or are you in a desperate situation where something's already gone wrong? We'll do one roll for sheer luck. And then we're talking about, is this operation particularly bold or daring? Take another roll. I would say yes, it is particularly bold and daring to be a group of nobodies basically coming in to steal the Wraiths item they procured. So we're gonna do 2 die. Does the plan's detail expose a weakness or vulnerability? I don't think so. Can any friends or contacts provide aid or insight? I think you've each provided someone who provide insight, so we're gonna add a 3rd die. All right, so I'm gonna roll engagement. And it's going to be 3 dice. 3, 4, 1. So in Blades in the Dark, for everybody playing our home game, the die rolls are set. We're always going to use D6s. It's just the number of D6s that you roll. A 1 through 3 is a failure. A 4 or 5 is a success, but there's a consequence. A 6 is a success with no consequence. And if you roll more than 1 dice and roll more than 1 6s, it's a critical. So that's good. So this is a 4, the low end of the success. So you pull up, you got your group got the cab. He pulls up the reins on the Akarosian goats, stops and kind of probably raps on the wooden shell of the carriage and says, "Here you go, have fun at the party." And you all start to step out one by one. Who steps out first?
I would like to.
Okay.
Considering my ridiculousness. Yeah, I'll step out first. Do I need to tell you what I chose for my load?
Nope. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
I trust you. All right. And then who's next?
I'll happily step out next.
Okay. And then who's there and who's last? Miss Corbin, is that you or Miss Fritter next?
I'll follow Preacher out.
Okay, that's fine. And then Miss Corbin comes out last.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as you're walking, as you get out of the carriage, almost as soon as the door slams behind you, the cabbie takes off, and you see him fade into the night. Not many lights down here. Again, we're talking about darkness all the time, pretty much here in Duskwall. There are lights on lanterns that have been posted outside of this alcove where you're going in, and you see there seems to be some smoke rising from the inside of there, and a few people, maybe look like finer dress clothing, people standing outside waiting to get in, almost like a ritzy club or something like that. You see each of them is holding some kind of masquerade mask that they're using. And so as you walk up, your group gets noticed by one of the large bouncers that is standing outside. And there's 2 of them. They're pretty large, probably 6.5 foot tall, street toughs, look like they know what they've been doing for a while. Both of them have long purple cloaks on that are pulled over, look like they're part of a gig of some kind. Like this is, the other nobles that you see coming in have faces of what they consider to be the forgotten gods, like masquerade style faces on, and are all dressed in nicer clothes. And one of the bouncers looks up and says, Good evening, all. Can I have your invitations, please? And that's where we're going to start, because y'all didn't know about an invitation. That was never said anywhere.
Quickly,
Absolutely.
was there an alley or anything behind where we were dropped off where Fritter could have tried to have gone in through the kitchen? Or
Let's have our first roll, and we'll find out.
okay.
So let's
Yay!
do. So rolls in Blades in the Dark are based on attributes, which you'll see as they roll up. What would you use for this? What do you think you'd use to spot that alley?
I have no idea. What do you think?
Do you think study, survey? Survey is survey location and situation, understand what's going on?
I like study better.
You like study? Okay, so what you're telling me is you knew this location ahead of time and maybe found some plans.
I like that.
And studied where the back entrances are. I like that. Okay.
I like that.
So we're going to, because we're at a 4, we're in a risky situation. That'd be the first level, is a risky.
Okay.
So we're going to do study with a risky position and standard effect. If you find this, then you find it. If not, then we'll figure something else out.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
Oh no!
Think the place that you thought you were going to, as you kind of maybe even look at the hand-drawn map that you drew on your hand. Does it make sense? Maybe there was some sweat there, or there's something that didn't quite make sense, or maybe when they sent the cabbies, they actually took you to another location. That kind of sounds like the Wraiths, to put you off in one direction only to actually take you in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
So you thought there was an alleyway, but there's not. And so now you stand in front of the large gentleman, just like the other group. He says,
I'll kind of... Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
So he'll kind of look up at the big guy and... Oh, good sir. I was actually looking just for you. As a matter of fact, I am the god Nathaniel Brown. I am the god of thievery, trickery, and wine. And I don't think I have. You see, I don't have pockets, and so there must be some sort of misunderstanding. And if you wouldn't mind, we would just like to skedaddle in.
I think he looks at you and he goes, trickery and wine. Are you trying to play a trick on me, or are you giving me wine? Because there has to be one of those, right?
No, but later, yes.
Okay. So it sounds like you're trying to talk your way by him, yes?
I am.
Okay. So, here we go with a roll. What are you going to do? What attribute are you going to use to do this? Is this
sway?
Sway? Okay.
Yeah.
Also remember that you can push yourself for 2 stress to get an extra die. You can ask for a devil's bargain, which can be another player, or even part of our wonderful audience can throw in suggestions on events that will happen regardless of if you pass or fail. You can also get an assist or get a setup from someone else within the group. So if you want more dice to roll, say something, and let's work that out.
Okay. Quick follow-up to that.
Absolutely.
Because something I chose with my load, which is what I was talking about earlier, was subterfuge supplies, which includes theatrical makeup. So I will say that I have drawn myself up to look like I belong to keep it simple, I belong in a Mardi Gras parade.
Okay.
Like it is Mardi Gras. It's Fat Tuesday, baby.
I think where are the punchkis? I think he kind of looks you
over
over.
here.
Yeah, he kind of looks you over. He's like, "But you're dressed the part. You just forgot the invitation. Is that what you're telling me?" So go ahead and take an extra die because you're using a piece of equipment. So let's go ahead and take an extra die. So when you roll, this will again be risky. It will be. I'd say limited effect. You're not gonna all the way fool him with just one roll, but this could definitely be well on your way. So risky, limited. If you want it, again, you can always use those things for extra die or extra effect, which means to push up the effect to standard or even greater.
Let's go nuts. Let's push this bad boy. So that'll give me an additional bonus dice. Is that true?
Are you pushing yourself, or you want to move up the effect?
When I want to move up the effect to get everybody in.
Okay. So if you push yourself and take 2 stress, I'll move up the effect to standard.
Okay. Cool.
So if you on your character sheet, just put 2 stress flags on there.
All right.
Again, for our home audience, everybody has 8 stress flags. That's kind of how we're doing with mental fatigue and the stress that doing this kind of life puts on our scoundrels. All right, so roll away. You're looking for, it'll be risky standard.
Okay, cool. Let me do this. Risky, standard, and then 1 extra dice, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Terrible.
So that brings us to our first you have the ability to resist. So what is going to happen, and you can resist this, so let me explain first. He looks at you and goes, that is a wonderful outfit, but I need an invitation because there are literally hundreds of people around here with outfits on. So you would fail normally. You can
what about
resist
that wine?
Yeah. You can resist any consequence I put. The consequence now is that you will not get in. You can resist that consequence by rolling a resistance check. And that would be a resistance against... hold on, let me check. With resistance against... probably insight, deception of understanding. So if you want to roll a resistance, you would push the insight button. What it does is you can resist any consequence. You take 6 stress minus the highest roll. So as you look down the vertical axis of your insight, how many red dots do you have in insight?
Where is that again? Sorry.
It's the top one along the right-hand side. Insight's the top attribute.
I've got only just like 1 in study, survey, and tinker.
You have 1 in study, 1 in survey, 1 in tinker?
Correct.
Okay, so you would be rolling 3 dice.
Okay.
And you would want one of those rolls to be as high as you can, so you take less stress if you would like to resist this. Would you like to resist this?
Decisions. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So he says, I'm just joking. Come on in. And with that resistance, he's going to let you in. But now I need you to roll an insight resistance roll.
Okay, cool.
See how much stress this causes you to look in his eyes for a quick second, knowing he's not going to let you in, only to be let in.
So just hit the insight button.
Hit the insight button. Yep.
And then grab 3 dice, or grab.
It'll automatically roll. If you don't hit anything for bonus dice. It'll automatically roll how many you need.
Just click insight. Okay, got it.
There's 5. So you take 1 stress. So that you let out that holding your breath a little bit. You let it out, and he kind of ushers you in and shows your group in.
Yeah, there's like a little vein kind of pop right here.
I think with Eyes' little with their persona, I think Miss Corbin is going to play the part of their beleaguered legal assistant. So she'll follow closely behind and just give, with her briefcase, just give the guards the most exhausted look. I thought for sure he had it. You know how they are.
And I think
royalty or nobility.
He kind of looks. He's like, it's so hard to keep up with these people.
Tell me about it.
He looks around and kind of waves the next person over and they show the invitation. So inside this alcove where these 2 men are standing, it's brightly lit with lanterns, and you go in and you open the iron doors, and you actually descend into a stairwell, probably 4 or 5 stairs, no more than that, into a large open room, probably 20 feet by 40 feet maybe. And right inside the door, there's this 2 little braziers lifting up smoke of some kind, just making the room a little smoky and a little hazy. And you see people walking around chatting and eating and drinking, almost like it is a party of some kind. There's not a lot of people, and there's probably 20 or 30 people. You saw that maybe they on your initial look, they kind of walk in, they're walking around, and everybody's looking. There's art along the walls, and then there are small domed pedestals along the middle of this. You see other people in these bright purple cloaks as they walk around. that you would assume to be probably guards or kind of just there for help. And down at the bottom of the stairs is a short woman who greets you with a large smile and waves you down. Hello?
Good evening.
Most good evening to you.
Yes. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for coming. I'm Tessin, and I am the party planner for tonight. And your names?
Nathaniel Brown,
Ah, yes.
god of wine and trickery sometimes when it works.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Yeah, I like that. You're getting into it. Yeah, I got it. All right. Who else?
Mr. Morgan, I'm here to appraise, make sure that everything goes smoothly and we're not getting undercut on what we're dealing with here.
Yes. We have some other people walking around now, milling about that are examining the goods. We have had them looked over, of course, by the interested parties. But please, yeah, by all means, yes. And you, and he looks at Miss Corbin. Muted.
Miss Davra.
Yes. I said Miss Corbin. She would have said yes. And you, ma'am, Miss Davra. Yes. Yes. And your role in this is?
I represent. And she'll look to her in acquisition and appraisal.
Yes. Oh, okay. So yes, the three, and then, ma'am, and she looks at Miss Fritter. What's your role?
She'll hold up her ladle and she'll just be like, I just need to get to the kitchen. And I keep getting held up here.
Why were you not here earlier? Why did you not arrive when the rest arrived?
Was not notified that I needed to be here earlier.
Oh, Pierre, I will need to speak with Pierre on this. Sometimes, he does these things and he tells people to come at different times and different locations. This was all very hush-hush. I only had 3 days to plan this. Can you imagine? And she kind of looks around. It looks like she did a heck of a job, by the way, for having 3 days notice. But she's like, I only had 3 days for this. I couldn't do very much.
Look, Tessa, I can appreciate the position you're in. If you can just point me into the direction of the kitchen, I can do the work of 4 waiters. So I'd like to just go ahead and work for you.
Good, because these people are hungry. Yes, okay, yes. And she points to the back. Where there is a kind of roped off area where you see that wait staff is coming. They all have the little purple cloaks on, and they're funneling in, getting drinks and different ales and all kinds of different stuff.
As Fritter's about to scurry away, she stops to Tessin and cracks her knuckles a little bit before she puts her hand on her shoulder, and she's like, there, dear, you're doing quite a good job, in a very matronly sort of way.
I think she kind of looks at you and kind of follows you a little bit. Okay, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, all right. So let me show you around a little bit. I'm showing each set of guests around to make sure you get to understand what's going on. And so she kind of turns around and goes into the room a little bit more. The fog clears up as you get into the middle of the room. It was kind of for effect there at the beginning. But you see everyone around you has or a lot of the nobles have the masquerade mask. Some look like forgotten gods of all different kinds and all different face shapes and Leviathan, what they perceive to be Leviathan shapes and spirit shapes. Anything that you could possibly imagine is there. There are definitely people that have been drinking too much and are too loud at every party, as you well know. So you have groups of people that are just there to eat and drink. She shows you to basically along the wall, they have procured some art that they're selling, and she happily goes on about each one of the pieces of art and who it allegedly comes from and why it's there. And then she kind of makes her way to the middle and says, but these are the items that was inspired by this party. Yes, inspired. And you look over and there's 4 small cylindrical tables, probably 4 foot off the ground. And each one of them has a dome, a glass dome over top of them holding the item. So you could get quite close to the item, but you cannot touch the item. And she says this, and she points to this dagger, this curved dagger. This is supposedly a dagger of Davos. It supposedly cut a demon or killed a demon. What I don't really understand it all, but that's what I'm told. I of course each one of these items has been independently reviewed and appraised and said to be the real thing. So that's quite exciting. Quite exciting. Somebody tell me what this dagger looks like.
I was just about to ask if we could touch it.
You cannot touch it. You can look at it. It's within, again, it's on a small table within a dome that as you get closer, you see there's locks on either side of the dome locking the glass down to hold it down, but you can get quite close and see it. Inside, you see that it's quite sharp and quite nice. What does it look like?
I'll say it's got a weirdly reddish gold handle that seems to kind of curly Q around, like almost like a blood channel, but weirdly on the handle, and then it like a razor sharp kind of very Bowie knife style edge. It's almost like it looks to be like too big, like if it was like if someone was like 3'4", it would be like a sword.
I got you. She says yes. Supposedly, you hold the dagger, and as Davos swiped at the mighty demon, it sucked the soul from the demon into the dagger. That's just what they say. I don't know. And then she goes to the next item, and it is what she says is it's a ghost mask. It is one of the masks that you can attune and look into the world of the spirits at all times. I know that they're out and about. I've seen spirits, and as an aside, for most people in Dustfall, they know that there are spirits out, but they don't deal with them on a regular. It's something that they probably don't talk about a lot either, because they have no control over what goes on, and disposing of them and the whole process is pretty secretive. You all in the underground know that it's kind of fair game to trade, so it's a different story. So she says, yes, this mask supposedly allows you to look into the ghost field and see the spirits around you. But I don't know. Somebody else tell me, what does this mask look like?
How about it looks like aged, almost leathery, like human skin, with it parted down this way, with stitches, like black stitches all the way up, and just like vacant eyes and crooked yellow teeth.
Okay, wish I hadn't asked that. That's going to be in my. It's nighttime. I have to go to bed here in a little bit.
You did invite me to this group. Just
thank you for. That will be the end of our show, because I'm going to have nightmares for a long time about the human skinned mask with stitches. Yeah,
I said that's what it looks like. I didn't say it had to be a human.
It's well, this is.
Oh,
this
with
is
teeth. Remember, it had teeth.
Thank you for the teeth.
And void eyes.
Nothing is ever scary enough without teeth. Thank you for that little.
It's got
little
crimson hued teeth that seem to pulse. Like there's a heartbeat inside of them.
I think she looks at this mask and goes, "That's what they say," but it creeps me out a little bit. I don't like it. She kind of gets away from that one. She doesn't turn her back on it, but she definitely like moves to the side. Next is a vial. She said this vial here, this has super condensed. I think that's a thing. Yeah, they said super condensed, like demon blood. This is stuff they can't even make electroplasm with. So it's hugely valuable, and you see it's in a little vial stopper. Probably you can look through the glass and see inside of it. What color is this vial? What is this?
It's clear. It has like a solution, but inside there is like this Vanta black sphere in it. And it does that thing, where magnets, the little like magnet liquid, when there's magnets around it, it does like that, kind of like that spiky sea urchin shape.
Okay.
It kind of pulses between that and like just a sphere.
Okay.
It's probably it's probably a tiny piece of this solution. Like you kind of have to like look a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a vial dropper, I would say. It's no more than a vial dropper, but you can see it's alive. It's this, whatever this is. This is not dead. This is alive, and it looks like the real deal. And then lastly, she said, and then lastly, we have this book. And she points to this well-worn, probably leather-bound notebook. And on the inside of it is a picture. She said, "This is one of the nobles family that have passed on some time ago." And she kind of says that, even as you look at it, this book is not that old. She says, "But this noble family passed on some time ago and has bequeathed this book down in the ages, and they decided that they wanted to sell it and make some money for the family and help out some other Leviathan hunters, some would-be Leviathan hunters." And so as you she says, it's quite, I mean, you can see right here, and actually the page it's turned to has a picture of a Leviathan, and it's hand drawn. Looks like this person, whoever wrote it, hand drew it. Mrs. Fritter, what does this Leviathan look like? What is it in the shape of? What is it weird with?
Like the Leviathan itself.
Yeah, they hand drew almost like a nature picture. Like if you were out on a safari and you were hand drawing a picture of something. Remember that the Leviathans are like the size of islands, so you see small little pieces of them at a time. What piece did they see?
So Miss Fritter, who had scampered off to the kitchen after first meeting Tessin, has come back to you holding a tray of some kind of hors d'oeuvre. She hasn't really paid attention to it because she's been trying to eavesdrop during this whole thing. And she offers it to you. Pate. And as she gets a good glimpse into this book, she sees that this creature is coming around what looks like a building, like a skyscraper, something like that. But instead, there are these like tentacles that are coming around it, as if it's trying to give it a weird hug. And through the top part of the skyscraper, where it has like a point, there are eyes looking through underneath the point.
Yeah, Tessin says, "You see, it's very old. When the Leviathans used to come to Duskfall, they would actually attack the city itself before we had the great electroplasmic barrier, before we had the lightning barrier. They used to come and attack the city. Can you imagine? It gives me the shivers to think about it."
Good. That's very good.
She kind of looks for a second. Yes. All right. I will, again, the bidding will start. She points to a small table over on the other side. If you would like to place a bid on one of these items, the bidding will be going on all night. And at the end of the night, they will award whoever is the won the item to that person. All you have to do is show proof of funds, of course, in one of the local banks or institutions, and you can have it for yourself. So please feel free to mix and mingle about and go about your business. And we wish you a good luck. Also, all the big people in the purple cloaks, and she points to maybe Miss Fritter's purple cloak that she just procured, are helping out with the staff tonight. They'll be helping out, and so if you need something, just simply call upon one of them. In a little bit, there is going to be a show of kind. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to see what happens. You all have a good time, and okay. Then she kind of slowly backs away.
That might be the most awkward person I've ever met in my entire existence. Wow. I have such a headache.
Amusing how honest she was until she got to the diary. I can still smell the honey and hyacinth perfume from here.
And it's as if you've never seen an aged book before.
She's uncultured.
Well, maybe her focus was the planning and not necessarily the items. Although, as hurried as it is, maybe she's not that great at it.
Well, authenticity doesn't matter when there's coin. So,
Facts.
One of you has an ability. To read lies or know when things are not the truth. Yes? Oh, okay, yes. Want to make sure I remember that. During your conversation, she felt like she was telling it's kind of a scale, I think. So you can kind of pick up on hints and things on people's facial features on when they know they're lying. Everything she said about the first three items, she believed to be true. The last, when she said that it was lost or there was antiquities, she knew she was lying about that. But it wasn't an obvious lie to her. It's almost like a lie of omission. Yes, they told me that's what it was, so I believe it was, even though that she doesn't fully believe that. So I want to make sure
Gotcha.
you kind of knew that. But everything
Okay.
else she says, she believed.
Got it.
All right, so this is where we start. What would you all like to do?
So, quick question: like, what's the like? So we're kind of in the room where it happens, if you will.
Right.
Yes, I'm doing the thing. But what's one thing that I've been thinking about is: are there windows in any of these rooms? One, and two, what's the room sort of after and before this? Is something I'm really interested. The layout, I guess, essentially.
Absolutely. So you're down in the bottom part of Night Market. It is the stone walls around you. The entrance are the two iron doors that you kind of came into and came down the steps. There aren't any windows that you can see. You see that there's a back room where probably they're preparing food of some kind, and then there's a room on one of the other walls that seems to lead to an antechamber or a water closet, something like that, out of the way. But it doesn't seem that there are large pillars that align in the middle of this room to kind of break the room up into parts and pieces. But it is, for all intents and purposes, one way in, one way out, except for what you understand. Where you could go. Although, again, I'll point out that as a crew, you all have underground maps and passages that can be used on a successful roll to find a way in or out of a place that would not normally be able to do that.
Gotcha.
Just want to make sure you know that. And so that's what it looks like. So there are party goers around, walking, eating, drinking. They're commenting about art, and every once in a while, somebody will come and look at the books and or look at the items in the middle, and then kind of come back. What would y'all like to do?
Ms. Fritter, did you find anything in particular during your time away from us?
So Fritter has been circulating and has been kind of, I wouldn't say rubbing elbows with the nobles, but certainly like cozying up next to them and then moving to another group. And I would like to say she's had a good opportunity to pick some pockets, but I feel like I'm gonna have to roll for that.
Yeah, we're gonna roll for that if you would like to.
I would like to. Could I roll with a finesse?
Let's see what finesse says. It says it is finesse an item from someone's pocket. That surely sounds like pickpocketing to me.
All right. So is it still risky?
This will be risky and which with standard effect. Would you like to push yourself,
yes.
Devil's Bargain, or
push
you
myself.
get an assist? You're going to push yourself? Okay. So remember, when you push yourself, you take 2 stress. Another teammate can give you an assist for 1 stress, would give you an extra die. Or they can perform a setup action where they roll, and if they're successful, it gives you a die without the added stress. Just as a thought.
So I'll take 2 stress.
Yes.
And then... standard, and that gives me 1 bonus die.
That gives you 1 bonus die.
Okay. I got a 4.
You got a 4,
yeah.
But there is a consequence of some kind. So what are you looking to get?
Money.
Okay, just straight cash.
Well, I have to. If all else fails, we have to outbid people for this damn book, and so I'm not putting up my own capital for it. So
I love it. That's
these rich
awesome.
people are going to pay for it.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so as you're walking around, you're hearing people. You finesse out of some pocket. I'm gonna say that we're gonna start a clock. And in Blades in the Dark, you start clocks when you don't know what else to do and when consequences happen. This is going to be a 4-turn clock, a 4-phase clock, and we're going to fill up 1. The title, the name of this clock is going to be Shown the Door.
A great name, dude.
What that means is that you are able to fit cash out of the pocket. But I think one of the other people in purple, maybe one of the guys as they walk around in purple, saw you and comes by and just kind of says, "Everything going okay?" and is eyeing you suspiciously. He maybe did not see you actually take something, but he noticed you around this person a little more. And if this clock if this clock happens, you and anyone you will be with will be escorted out.
Okay. So
In
what is
4
that?
turns?
How does this practically play out?
The clock.
Yes.
So when you all do something that is suspicious, or there's a consequence, like you roll a success with a consequence, I'll tick up the clock, depending on how the position is, whether it's risky, standard, or desperate, or controlled, or desperate will be how many ticks it ticks up. So as you do things that are more and more risky, that clock ticks up, and there can be multiple clocks at once.
Ooh, cool. All right,
Okay.
that actually sounds awesome.
Let's say you're able to pick out 1 coin worth of spending cash that this noble had. So you can actually write down 1 coin, Mr. Fritter. And a coin is equivalent to a week's worth of pay. For a normal person, it could be a piece of jewelry. It could be anything equivalent to that. Miss Corbin, what are you doing?
Miss Corbin is looking around the room. She's been eyeing the lights, keeping track of them as we've been toured around this fit place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a flashback.
Okay.
She has contacts with Lamplight, with the few people that work in the power stations.
Okay.
She wants them to manufacture an outage
Okay.
at a specific time for this grid of night market.
All right. I think that'll cost you 1 stress.
Yes.
And let's say that it'll cost you a favor later down the road. They'll do it, but they'll require a favor from you somewhere down the road. Is that okay?
That is fine.
Okay. So at the time you deem where they said it can only happen for like a minute or 2 because they can't get in trouble, but they can definitely do a power spike through that area.
No.
So whenever you tell me, we will roll that, and basically it'll pitch everything into total darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because she knows everything, just want to make sure everything around was running on electroplasm.
Actually, yeah. All the lighting that is above you, it is pretty dim because they kind of turned the lights down. But all the lighting above you is run on the electroplastic lights. Absolutely.
Yeah. She has run this through the crew, so she'll with
Absolutely.
her eyes, just kind of like gesture at the lights. It's like, good.
Okay.
As she does that, I kind of like clink my like cane sword on the ground, just kind of make some noise to kind of gather a bit of attention around me, and I'll fan out some cards. So we'd like to play a bit of a game, something to pass the time before it's auction time.
I think there are tables around that people are kind of eating and drinking at, and you get more than a few people that are like, oh yeah, definitely come over. And there's maybe a couple groups of people that are standing around the tables and would love for you to come over. Okay, Preacher,
Awesome.
What are you doing?
I am totally enraptured with this mask.
Absolutely.
Down on my knees, like taking a look at it as close as I can. If I was a Jedi, I would be sensing the delicate waves of the Force as it surrounds this thing. I want to see if there's any sort of connection to the spirit realm through it. If what this auctioneer was saying to us was actually true.
Okay. That sounds like a roll to me. What would you like to roll?
I would like to roll it in a tune.
A tune? Okay. And what is your playbook?
I am a whisper.
Whisper. Okay. So you're used to these type of items. You're used to dealing with the spirit realm and the spirit world, the spirits as they come around, and what that entails. Okay. So let's roll in a tune. Would you like a devil's bargain? Would you like an assist? A push yourself? What would you like? Any other extra die?
Well, as we're dealing with the spirits, I think I'll take the devil's bargain.
All right. So in Devil's Bargain, I or another player or our lovely crowd out there watching on Twitch can say something that they would like to happen. I offer it to you. If you choose to take it, whatever we say actually happens, regardless of the roll. But it's always your choice as whether to take it or not. I think that there's a connection between the one you seek, this shadow behind the shadow behind your foe. There's a connection to this mask in some way, and it calls you on a personal level. I think it flashes back to maybe in your dreams you have seen this mask before, and you need this mask. If you take my Devil's Bargain, we will say that this becomes one of your vices, is to learn about the mask and know more about it, and to figure out how you can get this mask.
Absolutely, I'll take that.
Okay, so you get an extra die.
Okay.
Yes.
This is risky, I'm assuming.
I'm gonna actually say this is controlled and with greater effect because you're a whisper. So you have time, and everyone is kind of backed off. At least the mask. You see a lot of other people around. A lot of the dagger and the vial, but the mask is so off-putting. Very few people are actually around it, so you can have the time you need to actually look at it.
All right, you say a bonus die as well.
A bonus die as well. A 6. So this mask is tied to the forgotten god called the Father of the Abyss. How does Preacher know of the Father of the Abyss? Did he read, or was he told stories? How has he heard Father of the Abyss?
Preacher was told about it through his own purveyor of faith. Having issues with his past, with the devil's blood that runs in his family. By seeking out mystics and other philosophers, perhaps there would be a key to unlocking a way away from these demons and these spirits that haunt me and my family. And that's why I want this mask so fucking bad. It's calling to me. He wants me to have it.
He does. All right, and you can tell it absolutely. There is spirit energy running around it. You actually, as you attune, you know that there are spirits just outside of this room, clamoring to get in. They seem to be held back by something, whatever is coming. There's something within this room holding them out. But you can definitely, as you look into the spirit world, the spirit realm, you can definitely see the spirits kind of banging on that glass case to get in and look around, and you feel there is power within this mask. Now, this mask is an instrument of that power. It may or may not hold much juice itself, but it is definitely an instrument of that power.
Fucking hell. Can you see this thing?
Like what you see there.
Such power. I tell you what, I could do a lot of things in life, but I can never change what I want. And I want this fucking thing.
We each have our vices, and, well, unsettling. That is certainly an interesting one. But, who knows? Who knows?
Sort of look around.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of buyers for this one. People can't even look at it.
There's a lot of spirits on the outside looking in, a lot of interested parties, unseen, but very curious.
Well, we'll certainly keep this mask in mind. Unlimited funds.
All right. Anybody else want to do anything at this moment?
So the cards that I've fanned out are, as I gather as many people as I can, they are now on the up and up.
Of course.
And essentially, like, I'm like, David Blaine 3-card Mating as much money as I can without going overboard and causing a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, that's very not true. I would love to cause a scene.
Okay. So I think yes. I think you win the first couple. You get on a roll of winning, and then may lose one to show that you can. And then there is a pot that is basically someone steps up from the corner, an older man who walks with a cane as well. He kind of points to your cane and does the look at it, and basically puts up a little bag of money on the table and goes, "I don't think you could do that again."
Oh.
And then he takes it and he says, "Mind if I?"
Mind if you do what?
I shuffle this time, of course.
Sure.
All right. So what would you like to use to make this happen come out on your end? What you can, so again, you can try to notice something with one of the insights. You can try to physically do something to the cards with one of the prowess, or you can try to talk him into some kind of way or form with resolve. And whatever you choose to do is kind of how I'm going to set the result at the end. So this is your choice.
So I when I hand it to him, I want to kind of like definitely, and tell me if this is not how this works, but I'm just kind of playing it by ear here.
Absolutely.
I have trance powder, and I'm going to kind of lace one of the cards with it, and I want it to kind of like activate and just, and then have it kind of, it's all the up and up, completely on the up and up.
So mark trance powder under your equipment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and then I think we're going to need. To roll. I think we're going to need to roll of some kind of prowess skill to get that card where he would touch it. It's okay. To basically mark your own deck. You probably always had. But how do you instigate him into grabbing that card?
So I will kind of do kind of a double lift and have it be the top card.
Okay.
And so it has to be, because typically I keep it in the middle of the deck and marked, so I know where it is, so I don't essentially blow it up on myself. And so I give it a cut, kind of like a false cut, just to make it look like I'm just randomly shuffling before he does like the final shuffle.
Right.
And then I hand it to him.
All right. So what are you going to roll to do this?
I would like to roll a prowl.
A prowl. Prowl about unseen, diverse item, ambush, close violence. Okay, so you're not finessing it because you're doing it out in the open, but you're still shading that card. So I can see that.
Correct.
Okay, so let's roll a prowl. This is going to be risky, and probably standard effect. So we're risky at this. If this fails, then we'll try something else. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Here we go.
A 6. Maybe as he grabs the top, he puts his hand on top of the cards, and like puts his hand on top to kind of grab them. Maybe you grab his hand or something, like to make sure he holds that contact for a second. What do you say?
Be careful. My mother gave me this deck.
Of course. And he starts shuffling, and as he shuffles for a second, you see the trance powder almost take shape, and he shuffles a little slower, and then he kind of hands the deck out to you, but you can tell already he's been affected by it. Other people around may not understand it, but he's definitely been affected by it.
Bit to drink.
All right. So you pick the card, and turns out to be what?
Just like the card itself.
Yeah.
We'll say Queen of Spades.
Okay. So Queen of Spades pops up, and he kind of, everyone around's like, oh, because you actually got it. And he kind of just stands there for a minute, and you take your cards back and kind of, well, thank you. And he, just kind of, he's just not there. He's basically in a trance. He's just standing there looking at you. And I guess some people think, oh my gosh, he lost some money, so he's kind of in shock that you're able to guess the card. So I think you also pick up a coin worth of money that's in this bag. So this goes on for a little bit. Miss Fritter walking around talking to people, creature probably absorbed by this mask. I'm going to say if you try to do anything outside of the mask, you're going to have to maybe take stress in order to kind of make your mind go away from it. And Miss Corbin, you're probably eyeing up some of the other items. And are you taking a special look at anything?
I think she is making idle chit chat with some of the other people that are here, just to kind of she wants a good idea of what kind of people are here.
Absolutely.
That want this item.
So I guess let's make a roll for that. Let's see how much information you get.
Okay.
Are you going to use a consort, sway? What would you like to use?
Yeah, I think she's going to use consort. She's used to kind of like breaking the ice with new people, and kind of like having kind of like that, not necessarily memorable, but just kind of pleasant conversation.
Right. Absolutely. You're an old friend they didn't know they had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So would you like anything there?
Mm-hmm.
Devil's Bargain, push yourself, assist, anything?
Let's push.
Okay.
So.
Only one person wants to take my Devil's Bargain so far, but we'll go down this path.
You know what?
Further.
Quick question.
What is a Devil's Bargain?
Right there. I was going to say, is it possible for me to assist there? Because I'm kind of like corralling a bunch of people.
Yeah, definitely. So if you take a stress, you can give her a die. You can give her an extra die as assist.
Yeah, sure.
So absolutely, you're probably hurting people her way or holding them around so she could talk to them a little bit longer.
That's what I'm thinking.
Devil's Bargain is someone here takes an interest in you and tries to find out who you are. You're asking a lot of questions of them. They take an interest in you. Would you like to accept?
You know what? Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 2. What is the position?
It's going to be risky and limited.
Can I, instead of push, can I make that
You want to go for greater effect?
greater effect? Yes.
Absolutely. You can trade a die for greater effect. Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's going to be risky and standard.
Mm-hmm.
Because people didn't want to talk about what they're willing to pay, what they're willing to do, but it takes a little bit to get them to go in that direction.
I mean, this is a good networking opportunity for her.
Absolutely.
Maybe standard. And 1. Yeah.
Holy cow, you all
6.
You all are supposed to be beginning characters. You're not supposed to be able to get 6s consistently. Like this goes a different way.
It'll happen at some
It'll
point.
happen.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right. So
The night is so young.
So this person, who is this person that you're talking to? What do they look like?
Oh, it's someone that also has a little bit. There's a certain type that they're well dressed, but they are trying not to be noticed. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's people that are here. People are talking to them, but they're trying to keep a low profile.
Are they all business or are they trying to network?
They're all business.
Okay. You maybe see them staring at the book a long time more than others, and they're gauging your interest as you're gauging their interest, and they've basically been sent. They kind of tell you offhand that they've been sent with an exorbitant fund in order to get this book. That it's going to go for very high, and they know it's going to go for very high, and they've been sent by one of the other noble families to procure this book at all costs, basically.
I think with that, she's going to kind of use that her cover is similar to theirs, and just like commiserate, talk, and just kind of get little details out of them.
Okay. What details are you looking for?
What they're not going to say what family, but they're like what the amount of coin or like the sector that they come from?
Okay. They say that they're one of the older basically they hint that it's one of the older families maybe in Six Towers that used to be big and now wants to be big again, and they see this Leviathan Hunter's book as the way to do that. So they're going all in with everything they have, which probably is around 10, 15 coin worth. Large amount of money. So they're basically almost bankrupted themselves to try to get this book that they feel is going to turn their fates around. And you know that limits the number of families that it could be, but you could definitely follow up with this later to find out who it is.
Oh, so she gauges that this is the item. This is going to be a high level item, and the coin for the auction might be off the table considering the amount of funds everyone else seems to be throwing on. There seems to be a great amount of competition. So
absolutely. So
I'll pass.
In your mind, you feel like you're not going to be able to buy this item. You're going to have to take it.
Yeah, so I'll pass it along to eyes like in business chit chatter.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think about this time is when Tessin gathers everyone's attention, clinks the glass, and says, "The entertainment was going to start. The entertainment is going to start. They're going to perform a ritual." And kind of looks around, and you see several of these robed figures come in and start to sit down in front of everyone. Everyone starts to gather around, and they say that they're going to perform a ritual of some kind and show the authenticity of the items. And at this is also kind of toward the end. So the bidding, you see several people going over and placing bids on things. You've eaten and drank all kinds of different stuff, and now this ritual is about to begin. What would you like to do? You know your business is at hand.
I have something.
Please.
Yeah,
go ahead. I did the last thing.
Oh, I was actually I was trying to figure out like what are is there like opening bids for all the things, just so we have the context there.
Right. You probably know that they're opening bids. The book is already up to looks to be as everyone gathers together, the chitter of the numbers start to arrive, and the book is up to probably 6 or 8 coin. The dagger is up to 4 or 5. The vial is probably 3 or 4, and the mask is pretty low at like 2 or 3. But they would expect all of them to take forward. That once one family or one group sees, that's when they all start walking over toward the end of the bids. They didn't want to tip their hand too early. So you see, basically now we have the room is all gathered around the center where these items are, and there are people in masks, in robes, starting to. They bring the braziers. There you go. Of incense around and start to make tone sounds as if they're trying to complete some kind of ritual. And Preacher, you feel like they're actually trying to do something. This is not a party trick. Mrs. Fritter, what are you doing?
So Fritter wants to just kind of peruse the tally, like so at the silent auction there's usually like you have a number, then you have a bid amount, and that's actually public because you're numbered. So she wants to see like what the current numbers are, and then we'll casually write down a number that's a little bit higher.
Okay.
Like a paddle number that's higher than the numbers that we've seen. So like if there's 30 people, it'd be like 52.
Okay.
And write down like 12 coin.
Okay.
So she's going to artificially inflate the bid amount for the Leviathan book.
All right. So what? How do you do that? What do we roll in to see if that actually works? You need to roll to see if it works, or unless you're holding it for now. If you're telling me, hey, I'm just getting it together so I can use it later, that's fine too.
No, she's just gonna do it. So I don't know what I would really. Maybe that's a finesse because she's lying.
I think it is employ subtle misdirection, sleight of hand. So you're basically trying to grab one of these paddles, write it down. I think that's definitely subtle misdirection.
Okay. I rolled a 4.
A 4. It's a complication. So you do it. You got your paddle. You walk over to the bid table, and they say one of the bid person says, "You work here. What are you doing bidding? What's going on?"
I have been asked to bid on behalf of a party.
Okay. Yeah. What party? And he asks for the paddle number.
Paddle number 52.
Okay, 52. He looks at the person next to him, paddle 52. They're right, and he said, "This is a bit unusual." And I'm gonna mark up the shown the door clock one more time.
So are we at 2 ticks
We're at
on
two
that?
ticks of
Okay.
2 ticks of the clock. 2 ticks
Okay.
of the clock. All right. And the intonement of the people around the braziers and around the items starts to get a little more ominous. Who wants to go?
Just given the situation, can I tell exactly what they're trying to do?
No, I think it's you know that they're trying to basically gather their energy together to do something. That's what this kind of the demonic ohm and the phrasing they're using is doing. You don't know what they're going to use it for, but they're definitely gathering energy.
Let's go a different step then.
Okay.
You said there was a bunch of spirits outside wanting to get in.
Absolutely.
So potentially there's something blocking the spirits from getting in.
Yes.
Is there a way I can attune or
Mm-hmm.
to try to find this item or this whatever's holding these things back to try to release it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I want to let
absolutely.
them in. This is a good time to let them in.
Okay. Yeah. Roll an attune and we'll see if you find it.
Okay.
You definitely know that there's something that is holding these spirits at bay outside.
Okay. And can I push?
So this is going to be, you said attune, so that makes sense. You can definitely push yourself. You can, push yourself. Do get an assist or set up. Or we can talk about a devil's bargain.
Let's just do the push for now.
Okay. All right. Push away.
Okay, so what position are we looking at here?
We are looking at. I think it's going to be risky for right now because you're just casually walking around. So risky and standard. That's pretty much going to be the default. If you get into a controlled situation, it's a situation that you fully control and there's nothing that can go wrong. And if you get in a desperate situation, well, then shit's really hit the fan. So we're kind of in the medium right now because y'all keep rolling well enough that you stay out of the desperate situation, but you're not fully in control.
And 1 bonus die for push, right?
Yep. Risky standard, you get 1 die for push, and that's a 5. I think, okay, so the consequence is going to be there is an item that basically is nulling part of the spirit field and blocking it out. As a whisper, that hurts you. You're used to having them all around you and being able to deal with spirits. So this nullifies part of who you are. It makes you feel empty inside. So I think you're going to take level 1 harm migraine. You're basically getting a migraine headache out of having to go this close to this item. The item is the dagger. You didn't notice it earlier because you got caught up so much in the mask, but now that you kind of attune to the dagger itself, you find an emptiness in. Whatever this dagger does, she said it draws the blood or the lifeblood or the spirit away from demons. It's drawing that energy from all around you, inside of it, down those grooves in the handle. The drums and whatever that the people are playing continues to play louder and louder. They put some more smoke and incense into the fire, and the smoke kind of starts billowing out. I'm going to start a new clock, and this clock is going to be This clock is going to be forgotten no longer.
So we have 2 clocks
Two
simultaneously counting
simultaneous
down.
clocks,
There's going
yes.
to be so many clocks.
Yeah.
And how many
Forgot-
turns is this clock?
This is going to be a 6-turn clock. Forgotten no longer. If in the time that this clock gets done, when this clock fills up, the ritual that they want, that the robed people are doing will be complete. And Preacher, you get the feeling that whatever it is, it's going to be immensely powerful for all of you inside here. Forgotten no longer.
It's powerful, but I can't really tell if it's
Like boom.
nefarious or you
Right.
know.
Yeah, you don't know. All right, who's doing what? What are we doing?
Before this all goes down,
What? There's nothing going to go down. It'd be perfectly fine.
I think. Well, I mean, it's going to get there at some point, but
Yeah.
I would also like another flashback.
Okay, absolutely. And remember, you all, I know that Sean's played before. You all want to have something or have done something before this to make it easier to do whatever you're doing now. You can always call for a flashback. We'll talk about the stress and how you acquire this. It could be an item. It could be talking with someone. It could be anything. Basically, think of it as a movie scene. How the people that are the heist people running heists always knew all along what was going to happen, and they plan for every occasion. And that is going to be done through flashbacks. Now we don't have to plan every occasion. We just play and we call for flashbacks. All right, what's your flashback?
I want to, through the brothel, find out who this Leviathan hunter that misplaced this book. And I want information on what it looked like so I can make a copy of it or have it made.
Absolutely.
It sure as heck did not go through their appraiser process because this is a new book.
This book belonged to the Leviathan hunter ship, the Storm Palace.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about that, and they were entertaining the captain of the Storm Palace for some time after they come back from a long Leviathan hunt. And as part of that, they were able to describe what the book looked like. I think this is going to probably be a 2-stress. Because it's easy enough to talk to someone, but it's harder to get all the stuff to make a copy. And this copy is going to have to hold up if...
It only has a hold up for us to get out.
There you go. Okay. Yep. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
And also hopefully for someone to pay a good amount of money for a fake.
All right. So, yes. So you have a copy slipped down in your satchel that you've already said that you have. You maybe your hand kind of caresses down and grabs at that binder, knowing that you have it there with you. What would you like to do with it?
Just get ready.
Okay.
Just have it ready to. Lights go dark. We do what we need to do. We get out.
All right. So the lights are about to go dark. I'll ask everybody what they want to do beforehand, as you know that they're coming before. You know the timing that the lights are going to go dark.
Yeah, I would like to do a flashback as well.
Okay, absolutely.
So earlier, when looking at the dagger, even before the card situation, I got a little bit lost in thought. And that's because I feel like I recognize these locking mechanisms.
Okay.
And I would like to flash back to, and also, if possible, indulge my vice. Unless that's something I have to do like normally, or it's something I can't do in a flashback. I don't know.
It'll be something you do during downtime, but we can definitely say that we can definitely say that it was done. That this was done when you were indulging your vices last time. So that's not an issue.
Sure. Could you tell me a little bit about the drug situation in Night Market?
The drug situation?
Mm-hmm.
Night Market is home to a lot of illicit and arcane type items because they come in off the train from Gaddock Station. Anything
Okay.
that you want to grab can be grabbed in Night Market for a price. It's much more merchandising type area, but if it can be made and sold, it can be made and sold in Night Market. And some of these little bazaars that pop up specialize in items that are hard to procure or arcane. You basically can take 2 stress to grab whatever item you want in Night Market itself, and that's part of Night Market. That is the effect Night Market has on everyone, so anyone can do that.
Beautiful. Because I was going to say I have a purveyor that is in Night Market that would we can say maybe I traded a bit of drugs for a little, maybe bit of an easier way to get rid of those locks.
Okay.
If you catch
Absolutely.
my drift.
Yeah. So I'll give you a bonus die on if you want to pick the locks. You know what the locks are. It's just about a matter of picking them. Or if anyone else wants to, you've shown these locks to everyone in your group before, knowing, hey, this is going to be how the lock is. So if anyone wants to attempt to pick them, break them, or anything like that, you get an extra die. Not a problem at all.
Nice.
Okay.
Who's got the highest finesse?
So anyone else doing anything before the lights? Yes, Miss Fritter?
I have a finesse, so
Okay.
if
Okay.
I need to use a finesse, please just let me know. Also, I don't know if this needs to be truly a flashback, but we haven't really articulated a strategy for our crew. We're kind of doing everything kind of on our own. But if I need to create a diversion, if you want to do that, I can, either in the kitchen or away from the items. Just because I'm older, I can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that don't worry about a flashback. You
Yeah.
already talked about that, and you can make that happen.
Yeah.
That would basically be a setup action. You can roll something to see how effective you are. Basically, you give someone an assist for free.
Sweet.
Okay. So, Preacher, are you doing anything before the lights turn off?
So excited.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
This ritual is now starting to get in full force, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to, anything I mark off now on the clocks will be moved from shown the door to the forgotten no longer clock. We'll no longer worry about shown the door as this is well on the way.
And our lights are about to go out, correct? So
yep, they are.
And I don't even know, maybe just for dramatic effect more than anything else, to get the eyes away from the goods themselves as you all are trying to procure them or switch them or whatever it is your plan is. Let's bring in some heavy winds. Maybe we can blow out some of these windows.
So are you going to use your special ability?
Yes, my Tempest ability.
Okay. So that involves pushing yourself in order to make this happen?
Correct.
Okay. So go ahead and mark down that 2 stress.
Okay.
You push and you try to grab at the forces, and you realize the forces won't. It's harder to get the force that you need inside this building with the dagger there, but you're able to grab it, and the 2 front doors, those iron doors, swing open wide, and a huge draft of air comes flowing in and basically makes that smoke appear all throughout the middle of this. There's a huge gust of air, and about that same time, the people in the purple robes are doing their own dramatics with more smoke and calling upon things that actually walked over and are I'd say they're using. No, they haven't touched anything. They've kind of messed around with whatever they're doing in the braziers, but definitely it's getting louder and louder, and then the lights go out, flick. What are you gonna do? You're plunged in darkness.
Should we do the switch or the grab our stuff?
I'm down for whatever y'all want to do. You tell me.
I'm kind of waiting to see what if Miss Fritter is going to do the distraction thingy first.
If
have to
you
call
are
you out.
down with that, that's fine. I didn't
Dude, I'm
want
super
to
down.
do something that ended up negatively impacting another plan that you had.
That's
Go for it.
Even if it does, it's totally cool. Like,
Okay.
let's play.
So,
yeah.
So my thing is here is the most important item to here is the book, right?
yes.
So we can still switch that and get away with it, right?
But if we take other items and the book is stay there, it's like, oh, they took the things. They must have just wanted this dagger or this mask.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Didn't care about this book.
And I want that damn mask.
Yeah.
So.
And I want that damn dagger.
Could we do like this when we get to like the switch and the grab? Do that as a group action, maybe. Like we all
Absolutely,
help
yeah.
each other too.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a group action, probably based on, I'd say, we talked about finesse earlier. So you're looking at maybe the four of you are around these tables. Maybe each the shot. I'll tell you what the shot is. The camera shot is in the dark. You can still see each one of you step up to one of the other. Each one steps up to one of the four tables. Your fingers find the lock and slowly pull it up. As you know, you've done this. The camera would pan back to you practicing this over and over with lock picks. We're going to do a group finesse action. Who is leading? This is it's person. So here's what a group action means. You all four will roll your finesse rolls, no matter if you have dots in it or not. You all will roll. Whoever leads will take a point of stress for every person that fails. Gets a 1 through a 3, but you will take the highest score from all four of you. So if one person rolls a 6, you get a 6 as a group. If you so you take the highest score. So the person that leads the group action doesn't have to be the best. They just have to have stress to spare. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah, I'm at 6, so probably not me.
Probably not you. Probably not you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the stress count right now?
6 for me.
4, 6. 4. Ms. Fritter, do you have any? You have 2? I think you pushed yourself earlier.
I have 2.
2. Okay. So it may make sense for Ms. Fritter to lead the group action, if you're all okay with that.
Totally.
All right. So each one of you steps up in the total darkness. You feel the smoke as it kind of coats your eyes. Even it would be stinging your eyes. You start to smell the acidity of whatever they're burning in these braziers, and you hear that monotone effect going almost into your psyche. It's kind of getting to you a little bit. That na 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 na, kind of over and over again. It's like something's wrong, but you've practiced this. All right, so let's all roll finesse.
Do I get the extra dice from the assist earlier? Or is this completely different because it's a group action?
No, we said that everyone. We said if you mess with the locks, everyone would get an extra die. I didn't plan
okay.
to do
So
it
everybody
for
gets an
a
extra
fact.
die.
Yeah.
So everyone gets an extra die. But
Sweet.
I said
Good
it,
luck.
damn it, we're gonna make it happen. Okay.
I do.
So what's
have
the
a question.
position?
The position is desperate.
Yep, that's
Desperate.
you have
One
one
shot.
shot at this. If not, it gets real bad.
Cool.
Also, because you're rolling desperate in finesse, everybody, once you're done with this roll, go ahead and put a flag in the prowess attribute. It's something we'll talk about later, but it's just so you can remember to do it. Basically, whenever you roll a desperate action in an attribute, you get a flag.
Okay.
When you fill up all the flags, you get to put an extra dot in that attribute.
Cool.
It'll go over it later, but it just helps you in the end. Okay, so everybody roll finesse.
I will take a stress for an extra +1.
I have the level 1 harm. Does that change my effect level on there?
It will not change your effect level because you only have one of the two. If you filled up both of those two, it would reduce the effect. But this is also a group action, so it's a little bit weird. Oh, there's a fail.
Oh yeah. Well, I roll with disadvantage. So.
Yeah. And then also, so as you see from Preacher's rolls, if you have 0 dice in something, you'll roll 2 die and take the lowest. All right, so I got Miss Fritter, I got Eyes, I got Preacher.
So we have the bonus from the locks.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm taking the extra stress. I want this.
Okay, so Miss Corbin's the last. 4. So the highest is a 5.
Oh, let me see.
Is that right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yes.
I got a 5.
So
I
we
did
got
too.
we got a 4, a 3, a 5, and a 5. So Miss Fritter, you take 1 stress for Preacher. I think the shot may be Preacher. So the consequence, you got a 5. You get 3 out of the 4. The one you don't get is the one Preacher is standing over, as this mask calls to him again
Oh,
and again. Preacher, you can't make your fingers do what you want them to do to get this mask. You know that it's right there. You've done it a million times. But the closer you get as you put your hands on even the outside of this, it calls to you in a way that you can't even understand. So you're able to, the rest of you are able to, Ms. Corbin, let's make the switch. I'm going to need a roll to actually physically make the switch. On the rest of the people are just taking them. You're going to make the switch on the book, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to turn it to the correct page, get it all situated just like the way it was,
Yep.
and go from there. So I'm gonna need a roll of some kind.
Another stress, so we'll make that. Just one. And position?
It is going to
It's
be.
probably des.
It's desperate. It's absolutely desperate. It's got to be desperate.
Oh God.
Oh.
no.
Oh.
Would you like to resist?
Yes.
All right. So I think this is a let's see. Resolve from mental strain or willpower. Prowess is physical. Insight is deception or understanding. I think this is an insight resistance, because the deception or understanding is knowing what page it's turned to, making sure you have that and kind of that. So I think the resistance will be you'll need an insight resistance.
Okay.
And you're at what stress?
5 stress.
This could be very bad. Okay, resist. So you take 2 more. So you're at 7. That's that 1 away from a trauma.
It's 2?
9. Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
Okay. So
all right.
Tell me what happens. What is, as the lights flicker back on, they kind of start and stop for just a brief second. What happens?
I think she, like, when the lights flicker, it startles her, and she almost drops the book. Like, she does, like, the halfway.
Okay.
Like, when, like, and then right after, like, she just barely gets that thing, and she's having a hard. She takes an extra moment to kind of, like, try and compose herself, because, like, she almost, like, lights. If she has her hands on the book, and the lights go on.
All right.
It's not getting. We're not, like, she's not getting out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
So
game
you
over.
as the lights flicker back on, it almost, if anyone's looking at you, they would see you put the glass case on top and locking the locks back. Mrs. Fritter and Eyes, where do we find you? You've grabbed your thing and now you're moving away from the cases.
Fritter, in noting that Preacher is struggling, is going to just push him out of the flippin' way and quickly try to grab that mask. Because he clearly is, like, in a trance, and he's not with it right now, and he's not going to get us. We're not going to get discovered because of this. So can I make a desperate finesse to see if I can try to steal that mask? Or do I not have enough time?
I tell you what, I'll do desperate with no effect, which means you have to push yourself or get an assist to bring up the effect. Okay. And this will also probably mean you're not able to cause the scene that you want to cause to push everyone away. I assume the plan was to grab what you want to go get the distraction ready, and as everyone thing comes back up, then do the distractions, so everybody kind of their eyes get off it. You're not going to be able to run back there immediately. So if something happens and you fail at this, you're probably going to be caught right here at this.
Well, I've got my tray as well.
Right.
So I'm going to be balancing my tray over, like, the dome.
Okay.
So that, like, it would theoretically be disguising what my right hand is doing.
Okay. So let's see if you get it.
So is that a 0 effect?
It is 0 effect right now, so you're gonna have to push yourself or get an assist or some other die.
I'm gonna
bring it
push
up in
myself to get a bonus die.
Okay,
Or
so it's
to-
gonna be
or
limited.
one. It's 0 bonus die, right?
No, it's gonna. Yeah, sorry, 0 bonus die because
Yeah.
it's gonna go to effect instead. Thank
Correct. I rolled a 5.
Yeah! Let's go! Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. As soon as I've got that mask in my hand, I like stuff that into my robe and I fall back and hit the floor and I start to have effectively a panic attack, but it might also kind of look like a seizure with like the dim lighting and the everything that's going on because I'm old and I'm stressed the F out and I just succumb to my anxiety.
So I think what happens is the shot is as the lights flicker, Eyes is almost walking away with the dagger. He has the dagger put somewhere. He's almost in a different part of the room. Miss Corbin is, as the lights flicker, getting the glass back on and sealing up and probably turning her back to it as it happens. Miss Fritter is grabbed hers and was going to walk away in order to do the distraction, but noticed that Preacher is just staring with his hands on the outside of this glass like it's a cake that he can't have. You push him out of the way and go through the motions and are able to get the mask out. But maybe as the lights turn back on, you fall down and start having conversions, but you're not able to get the mask put away somewhere. It's around you. So you have it, but you're not able to tuck it away and kind of walk away scot-free with it. I think that's going to be the complication because you succeed, so you have the mask. But if anyone were to check on you at this point in time, they might find the mask.
Could it be like under my, like, so if it's in my right hand and I've got my tray in my left hand and I fall back.
Okay.
Could it be like against my chest and I've got my tray against my chest? So like if I came forward, you'd totally see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Preacher, you're still just standing there staring at where the mask was for the briefest of moments.
I'd say honestly, I see Preacher like almost with his hand in his vest, like reaching for like a pistol because he's just going to blow the glass away at this rate.
Yeah.
You know? Sort of like slowly just like shakily taking it back out. And probably not even like aware of what's going on, like right next to him.
Right.
Miss Fritter's shaking on the floor.
All right. So the lights come back up and the party goers, I think the people in purple robes don't stop the whole time. The lights are out, everything is stopped. As the lights come back on, they begin to produce this, that you see one of them pour something in the braziers. It's kind of like electroplasm. And they start to see shapes and things as they let basically a spirit loose in the room itself.
Nope.
What would you all like to do?
Nope.
I'm fucking out of here,
Get
man.
out.
I'm fucking out of here,
Yeah, so I
dude.
think Miss Corbin is clutching a spirit bane charm.
Okay.
And it's like, we need to leave.
Yeah.
Yep, I have one as well.
Okay. So everyone who has a spirit bane charm, you can mark it down that you have one. If not, this will keep a spirit away from you for a short period of time. They don't like it, but if they really want you, they're going to come get you. So you see that this spirit kind of gets let out, and the nobles start to back up and kind of move away because they don't really know what's going to happen. And that's when all hell breaks loose, and the spirits kind of shrieks. That gets a lot colder and everywhere. The lights kind of flicker again, but you know, Miss Corbin, you didn't actually ask for it to be done twice.
Mm-hmm.
And Preacher, you know that with those doors being opened, and the dagger being gone, the spirit realm is able to come in here. And as you look out, you see the spirit realm, the ghosts, spirits start to make their way through that iron door. And you look and you know that your way of escaping, the way that you were going to go out, is not a good way to go out anymore. How do you get out of here?
Could I beseech the spirits in any way?
You can certainly try. You're
So
always welcome
there
to try.
it is.
I
There it is.
made an attempt earlier to try to let them in,
Mhm.
so I'm going to try to make that well known. Um, we have freed you from the trap here, and now these people and these goods are yours to take at your own whim. We will not impede you in any sense, form, shape, or fashion.
Yeah, I think you hear screaming as people start to get kind of, as the ghosts start to pour in, it gets colder and colder and colder. And the nobles who thought it was a party trick now realize it wasn't a party trick and they don't know what to do. And these spirits come pouring in. So you're going to, whatever you're going to do is probably to deflect them away from you all for a short time. It will not immunize you or anything. Immunize, whatever, and make you immune. There you go. There's a word. For any, but it will push them toward the nobles. Where are you all going? What's the plan to get out of here? I guess, and we'll, preacher, go ahead and make that roll, the attune roll, as the rest of you try to figure out how do you get out of here. And Sir, what are you doing, laying on the ground?
Well, to me, it sounds like nobody's going to be paying attention to me because you've got all this other shit going on. So as soon as I realize that no one sees me and no one is paying attention to me, kind of, all right, I kind of get my bearings, my anxiety lessens a little bit. I'm not as worried about being discovered, so I can kind of breathe for a second. And then, maybe look around if anybody who is in my group is nearby.
Yeah.
And just kind of extend a hand to see if they could help me up off the ground.
I'll be up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Eyes is right there beside you, helping you up, and I think Miss Corbin is kind of enthralling everyone that you need to leave. You need to leave. You need to leave. As preacher, what does it look like when you attune to the spirit world, spirit field?
Before I answer that,
okay,
is that going to be like? I'm assuming it's going to be a desperate position that we're in.
Yes, I think it's going to be desperate. These groups of spirits want revenge or whatever they can take upon people that are holding things that they feel like are theirs or tied to their world and kept them out.
And just a standard effect.
So I'm going to say it's limited effect because you're only holding them off for a short period of time. It's basically the time it's going to take. So whatever you do, you're not going to be able to keep them away from you. You're just going to be able to kind of subvert them over to the other people instead.
That wasn't a great roll. So I would say when I go to attune to speak to these things, the devil blood that's in me seems to make my skin grow red hot. And this coldness around me, all you see is the air actually turning to vapor and whirling away from me as my eyes begin to glow a deep crimson and my voice becomes hollow and echoey as I reach out and speak to these creatures. My hair going stark white.
Okay. So I think they actually stay away from you. You see a few spirits start to make their way toward you, knowing that you're a whisper and what you can do. They go for easier targets. The consequence is that, do you have a spirit mask now that you use?
Yes, I do.
The spirit mask that you have now, under the strain of this many spirits, seems to give way a little bit. It seems like it's going to need some work or something to fix. It doesn't have the same oomph. Like as you start to look through it, something's not right with it. It's just put a lot of pressure and a lot of juice through something that wasn't used to it. So you almost short circuit it. So if you need to use it again, you're probably going to not be able to use the spirit mask.
All right.
So remember, you can use anything in your arsenal, equipment-wise. If you need to use it right now, use it right now. Pull out all the stops to get out of here. This Forgot No Longer was something else. It's not going to be that anymore. We're now going to go back to the 4-turn clock and say we have a spirit infestation. And that will be just when there's literally hundreds or thousands of spirits that get congregated around here. We do not want that to happen. So right now we're going to jump back in and see, how are you getting out of here?
I'm looking for one of two people, like
Okay.
very quickly. I'm looking for the guard from the outside,
Mhm.
if he's inside somewhere, or I'm looking for the guy that I completely obliterated in 3-card money.
Yeah, you can
See what
find
they're
one of
doing.
them. Yep, that's not a
Okay.
problem.
I prefer to find the
Who would
guard
you like to
outside
find?
if he's in there. I'd like to find him.
Okay, that's fine. The guard from
And
outside, you said?
yeah.
Okay, no problem.
And and I'll actually just like raise a coin. Get us the fuck out of here.
All right, yeah, I think he comes in. He was trying to shut the doors and basically got pushed back when all the spirits came in, and he just wasn't prepared to deal with that at all. And then is running toward the back. As he runs toward the back, he looks at the coin and waves you that way toward the back. Back, this is Fritter, where you were going for the food. So you know there has to be a way out back there somewhere. And you as you start to run back there, you know that there a lot of the people that were helping are already running that way. So they also obviously know something. All right, so I'm going to need everyone to succeed at something. We're going to do like a group succession. If more people get out of here, you now know the way. What attribute are you using to get out of here? If at least let's say at least two of you pass, then the group will get out. If at least two of you don't pass, then we'll do another round, and the spirits will get closer and closer, and you'll probably have to start fitting them off a little bit. They haven't gotten so close to that you need to do resistance for fear yet, but you know, as a preacher, as a whisper, you don't have to. But the rest of you, if a spirit came to you, then you would definitely have to be making some resistance rolls just from pure fear of a vengeful spirit upon you. All right, so what do you want to use to get out of here? You can use anything, just as long as you can tell me what you can justify it. That's a word. Yes, what's going on?
Is this a good opportunity to bring up our special ability as a group? Everyone steals.
You can enable that if you would like.
I feel like it's a good time. So,
Okay.
like, we can add an action rating to Prowl, Finesse, or Tinker. Up
You
to a
should
max
have
rating
already.
of 3.
I think.
Oh, is it already like
yeah, it's already
embedded?
added.
I didn't know if it's like a thing that we have to
it's a
call out.
permanent
Okay,
thing.
then never
Nope.
mind. Okay,
It's a
never mind.
permanent thing.
Cool. Huh, I thought I was being awesome. No, it's okay.
But if you look at your items and you have a fine pair of anything, like the top 2 items of your equipment would be fine, you get an extra die for using those things. If you want to use anything that you want to use to get you out of here, you can do it. So who would like to use what?
I mean, we're running from the spirits, right? So I don't have to like push them out of the way or anything.
No. They're congregated around the nobles. The nobles are all the rich people are all running around. People in the cult the cult kind of robes are all running around. No one was prepared for this.
This is super like borderline, but bear with me here.
Okay.
So I've got my, because everything on Jason's fine, baby, but he's got these cards, right? And I obviously, like, these are spirits and stuff, but like I'm making a really dumb assumption that they have to still see me. So like, I'm assuming I'm still with Miss Fritter, but if there's someone that wants to chase us or whatever,
okay.
I want to like take the cards and like hold on to the top side of the deck and just kind of push them out, like almost like a bunch of, it's just a wall of cards in the middle of the air to block anyone from seeing us leave.
It's almost like a mini distraction of cards floating in the air. We already said the wind is picking up and whipping those cards around.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you like to roll to do that? And then as you're figuring that one out, whether it be a physical roll of some kind, whatever you want to roll, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Fritter, what are you doing?
Fritter, once we get into the kitchen and we're looking around, there's clearly like a door that would exit into an alleyway. And I don't know if it's barricaded or locked.
It seems to be barred. It seems to be barred.
Awesome. Yes. So I'm going to bust out my demolition tools.
There we go.
And we're going to make that shit happen.
Okay. So mark your demo tools and get to rolling.
And so what would that be, a skirmish or a wreck?
So the effect will be standard and risky and standard for this first one. It would probably be a wreck. If you don't care what the door looks like at the end of it, it's a wreck. All right, Miss Corbin and Preacher, what are you doing?
I think we'll use finesse.
Okay.
But can I use the Spirit Bane Charm to give myself a little bit of extra space?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd say that's going to give you. What are you doing to finesse? How are you just picking your way through the crowd?
Yeah, she's small, for she's kind of like weaving her way through people.
Okay.
She grew up like
you
trying to get through crowds, so she knows how to kind of like weave.
You notice your new friend is standing. Your I say friend. The person that you met is standing stark still, just frightened to the bone. Would you like to grab them?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you will
Which
be.
Which friend is that? Quick
this
question.
This is the person that we have yet to decide who they are. This was the fellow appraiser that was appraising.
Oh, this is the person you were talking to,
yes,
and
the
they
person,
had like been from the other family.
Yep,
okay,
absolutely. So this is the other appraiser. You're going to have a lower effect because it's going to take more time to go and grab them.
Yep.
Sorry, but absolutely can do that.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
and then
good.
Preacher, what are you going to do?
Is there a lot of bodies between us and this escape?
I would say that a lot of the bodies are toward the front. There are other people that are milling about. A bunch of the staff was all back trying to get toward that back door, and now they can't until Fritter gets the door open. So yeah, you probably have a congregation like toward the front with all the spirits, and in the back waiting to get the door open. All right, so we got some rolls. Whose do we have rolled first? Eyes, is that your roll? Is that your 3-1?
Yeah.
You went first.
Okay. So right now it looks like that's going to fail. I think you try to do the cards and the wind just takes them and flutters them all in a way that you really can't even see. Like it would have been there if the wind hadn't been there. And then we have Fritter. What happens with the door, Fritter?
What? Wreck-It Ralph.
So Fritter has, I don't think a ladle is really a demo tool, but
big enough one is.
Shit got real.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's Mjolnir.
So a few good whacks of my trusty ladle.
Absolutely.
Call it Miley because it comes in like a wrecking ball. Just demolish that door.
Okay, so. Absolutely. The door swings wide open, and we're that part of the night. The door swings open, and all the staff start to rush out and get out of there. All right, Miss Corbin, you rolled a 6. So what happens as you grab your new friend?
Kind of see like you don't see her like move a lot, like, but she weaves, like she just gets very close. She like just whips around people and just like jumps over like a few pieces of furniture with our like new friend to try and get out. Yeah,
the camera shot shows you dashing between people and ghosts being attacked, and as you pull this person around bodies and over furniture and around, zipping through things into the back. Preacher, I'd say you're walking backwards, maybe the last one toward the back. What are you going to do?
I'd like to reuse my Tempest ability at this point. We have a bunch of people who are kind of cannon fodder at this point for the ghost, right? So
that's what it appears.
If they're going to get to them before they get to us, then maybe let's just, is there a way I could use my lightning to give them a little zap to keep them still for a little bit longer until these ghosts get to them?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to kill them, but...
Are you aiming at the people? Or are you aiming at the spirits?
Oh, at the people.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's roll it up and see what happens.
Okay, we're rolling a tune. Or
It's gonna be a bad night for the spirit wardens.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we were playing longer, this is where the spirit wardens and the death ravens would come in. But we're pretty
that's
pretty
gonna
close
happen.
to done.
I have to push
Anyways.
myself to use that.
Yep, you got to take 2 stress to use it.
And that's an attune, correct?
Mhm.
And what am I, desperate?
So I've played in the past where it's not an attune if you don't want it to be. It's how you're using the lightning. How are you using the lightning? Are you using it to, like, if you're using it as a weapon, I think you can use hunt or finesse or prowl or something like that to use it. I think you have to push yourself to make it happen, and then you use it how you want to. Does that make sense? Like you don't have to attune every time.
Right.
If say you were trying to wreck open a door with it, you use wreck. If you're trying to skirmish your group up close, you use skirmish to shoot it at them. So I can see. I mean,
Well,
I can see most anything.
I guess I'm going to go skirmish then. Because that's...
Okay.
If I... In this situation.
Yeah, you're basically trying to hold a position. It says skirmish with an opponent, close combat, assault, or hold a position. You're holding a position with this lightning arcing, maybe menacingly. Maybe it's not even touching anyone. It's just arcing around you.
What is a fine lightning hook?
A lightning hook is used to trap spirits.
Okay.
It's basically like picture it like a long shepherd's hook with that electroplasm running up and down it, and you hook spirits and hold them, and then you can put them into jars or whatever else you want to. So
Okay.
I don't think that works here, but
No, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, that's-
Okay. So is this risky, desperate?
this is risky.
Okay. Standard?
Yep.
I only get 2 dice for... Or actually, I get 1 dice for this.
All right, let's see if we get it. Oh, look at that! 6. I don't even get to do any damage to you. Absolutely. You shoot this lightning or arc this lightning out as Fritter's already behind you, eyes darts around you, and Miss Corbin comes holding maybe onto the arm of someone else you don't know, and Skitter's right beside you, but all the other nobles are holding themselves back, not understanding what's going on. So they're running around or running for the door or running wherever they can, and it holds you and gives you enough time to basically you can back out and turn around and jet out the door. Anybody have anything else they want to do before we leave?
As we leave, or as we're like exiting stage left, I'll reach into my subterfuge supplies because I just read them, and I was like, let's go. I think I'm laughing at our sort of success, but like I'm having a blast, and I just like take out these large like pieces of paper, and I'm like, I could have made invitations.
All right, and that's where the scene closes for the evening. Is as he reaches into the pocket, I could have made invitations all along, and the camera goes black and fades away as you all skitter off into the night, back to your lair with your dagger, your mask, your vial, and more importantly, the book. And so that's where we'll end tonight. We will pick up next week with Downtime, where we'll talk about the experience and the actions. It's going to be a little more mechanical. We'll go through creating some people with the world and talking about what they're going to do in their next score. So, Saevrick, you want to take it away to end us out of here?
I said, do you want to go? You guys can go.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'll do be the last one.
Yep, that sounds good to me. Again, I'm Nathan, he, him pronouns. I'm on my Twitter is @NotAnotherNate. I love to play RPGs and enjoy GMing for groups such as this, where we're learning and seeing what madness we can create and what we can come up with. So it's been a fun time already, and can't wait to be with you here on Wednesday nights for the next few Wednesdays. Shauna, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hey, I'm Shauna. She, her, Flying Cirrus on Twitter, where you can see where are the games I play throughout the week and the art that I do, which hopefully soon will, by next time, hopefully have art for everyone in the crew. So see that. And anything else? Oh yes. Check out the Hero Quest campaign for on Hasbro, because I designed a warlock character that got unlocked, so that's exciting.
Ooh, that's neat.
Cool.
This was delight. I love this so much.
I still have the original box set Heroes Quest like on my shelf back there.
Nice.
All right.
I'll go. I'm Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Stop That Old Woman. I stream on Saevrick's channel. We're doing this game, and then we're gonna have Star Wars in a couple weeks, starting up on Saturdays, and that's all the things that I do. If you have not picked up Rime of the Frost Maiden, the new D&D hardcover, you should totally do that because I wrote a chapter in it, and it's pretty cool. And that's really about all I have. So,
All right, who's next?
I guess I'll go next. So, hey, everybody. I'm Jacob Duval, King Jacob on the internet. You can really find me as the Dungeon Master for a little show called Duval and Dragons every other Sunday. Which was last Sunday, so 2 Sundays from now. And as well as speaking of Icewind Dale, you can find me starting on Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, playing in that very module. Oh God, we're probably gonna die. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. You can also find me on Tuesday nights playing a Ulabar, a ridiculous half-orc fighter on twitch.tv/Thread Raiders. And I just forgot to mention where Duval Dragons was, which is on So Many Games' Twitch channel. So wow, this game is awesome. It is like subtly brilliant, and I love everybody. This is so cool.
Well, I guess it's everybody, huh? Okay, well, I guess I'll go then. My name is Saevrick. Josh, I'm he, him pronouns, and you can find me here or on Twitter, both at Saevrick. Hannah kind of covered it for me. We'll be playing this every Wednesday, and starting the 10th of October, we will be playing a Star Wars D20 Saga Edition campaign called Exile, which takes place in the Old Republic. So that's going to be a shitload of fun. Maybe as fun as this one is. I'm not sure yet. But otherwise, I got nothing else going on. Is there anything else you guys like to say before I take us out of here?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
thanks.
awesome.
It was-
It's been a pleasure, and I hope you've enjoyed me tonight. So we will see you, I suppose, next Wednesday, correct?
Next
Yes.
Wednesday.
Excellent. So thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for the bits. Thanks for the subs. Really do appreciate it, and I can't wait for you all to see this amazing art that Sean has started. It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
So I will let you all go. You all have a great night.
Peace.
See you later.